Welcome, life learners, and thank you so much for tuning in. So, do you want to get involved? Do you have a book or a series in mind you could write or illustrate? Do you want to make a difference in the way people perceive others who may appear or learn differently? If it's yes, yes, and yes, you are likely going to want to explore and embrace this very show. So, good day to our YouTube viewers and our audio listeners. For our listeners and our viewers, we ask you to please think about the last time you felt as though the way things were presented were the best way for you to learn. You know that Barb and I are all about lifting up and learning well. So today's episode on the Business of Life Masterclass is on how to be generous in contributions, ideas, grace, and perspective while having fun in speech. So hello again, everyone. Debbie Lundberg, performance, mindset, and resilience coach with Presenting Powerfully.
Hi, everyone. Barb Zant here, media sales leader and founder of the lifestyle brand and blog, The Stay at Work Mom. So, Debbie, who is our guest who can show us ways to get to our most marketable self?
Yeah, marketable in ways you might never imagine. She's coming to us from Texas. She's the author of the Spectrum of Cars children's book series. As a community leader who gives back to public education, literacy, and autism acceptance efforts, you will quickly learn that she is generous and she is a lifelong learner with a BS in creative writing, and she's earned an MBA. Hugely important, she's a wife and mother who has had individual and corporate success for the past 20 years. Please welcome Tonya Baradaran.
Welcome, Tonya.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys so much for having me on. And congratulations to you guys for over 300 episodes. Success is really about consistency and showing up when it matters. And this show is proof that through consistency and sharing voices, we can really provide insights for success to the world. So thank you guys for all that you're doing.
Thanks again. We're so happy that you're on with us today. What is one thing in your bio that is interesting or cool? And this is just a tease. So we're going to hear more about it at the end of the episode. What would that be, please?
I love to golf. And it really started because of my ego, and it's really changed my leadership and approach to life. So that would be my tease. I'm a golfer.
All right. More on that to follow for sure. So, Tonya, you were invited on the Business of Life Masterclass podcast for your community leadership and all that you give back to your family and the community. Since you have listened to our podcast, please share in a few words or less what made you want to be on the Business of Life Masterclass podcast.
This world, it's so important that we have kindness, we have connection, and we have a shared voice. And it's important that all voices are heard and that we offer one another platforms to share our insight and also encouragement. And I believe that this show is proof of that necessity and that contribution. So it's my absolute pleasure and honor to be a part of this.
Thank you. And thank you for the kind words and your take on our show. Before we get into our podcast 4, and that's the 4 questions that Debbie is going to ask, what's one thing that you're excited as you're living your life right now?
Life is a party right now for me. People used to say, hey, if you wake up and you love what you're doing, it never feels like you're working. I never knew what that meant until I kind of hit this new chapter of life. So I would say I'm most excited for my second book. This Spectrum of Cars series continues to grow. So Rescue and Recovery Road is on its way and will be released, for summer. So super duper excited for that. And just also excited to wake up every day and be able to work with so many kids and just see their pure and authentic joy.
Well, life is like a party. I love that. We will definitely have more in our show notes about your book and release and the date, and it's going to be in Spanish too. I love that. So as you're excited about all the parties and the life where you're at right now, what's that one song that is your life's walk up to music? What's your life's walk up music?
I have to go back to my roots. I would have to go back to my roots. I'm a Northeast girl, and I love to just have fun and be around these kids. And I would say my song would be 50 Cent up in the club. In the club, I'm dancing. I'm on the dance floor.
Oh, I love it. You're talking
It's
about the kids and
party.
that. For some reason, I was thinking, is she going to go with Cyndi Lauper? Girls just want to have fun. And no, you
Ah,
went 50 Cent up in the club. Love it. Love it.
love
Love
it.
it. Love it. That is not what I was expecting, except you have so many. You're such a music person. So you could have gone a million ways. So we'll hear more about your walk-off music later because I can't wait to hear about that. So we are moving on to the Business of Life Masterclass podcast for the 4 questions we ask every guest. Are you ready, Tonya?
Let's go. Let's
All
go.
right. Well, for everybody watching, you can see that Tonya has her book in the background. I also have a copy here. Whoops. I have a copy here, and Barb mentioned it's in Spanish as well. So I'm sure we're going to hear a little bit more, but we've got it in our pictures too. Didn't want to miss that, and another one coming out. So it's pretty exciting. So we know life's a party for you right now, and we're going to get to hear a little more about that in this first question, Tonya. What time do you get up in the morning, since you're always excited to get up? And what's your morning routine that gets your day started right?
Um, so I'm normally up anytime. So I'm up throughout the night. So my son is on the spectrum. So he has a hard time sleeping through the night. So I'm typically up at 1 and then again anywhere between 5 and 6:30 at the latest. And I would say my favorite part of the morning routine is really getting him off to school and getting my husband off to work. I'm really teaching healthier habits inside of our household, so nutritious breakfast. And every day when we take him to school, we have this big field. So we race across the field, and he always wins. And that's his way of starting the day on a positive note, starting his day with a win. And that gives me all the joy in the world. So that's how I start every day. And I would say it's just as important how I end the day. So we take a walk every day. We have ever since we, met, and that's how we met and, grew our relationship. So every day we take a walk together, and it's really great for connection.
Wonderful. Do you do that right after dinner or do you do that right before bed?
We do it right after dinner. So now Zion's to the point where he is biking. So he'll bike, and Dad and I walk the trail, and everybody's kind of watched him grow on the trail. And it's our way just to kind of check in with each other, see how the day went, see, hey, how are we feeling? What do we need? It's just a really nice time for us just to hold hands and connect.
How thoughtful. And you talk about healthy eating and healthy starts. There's so much that's out there that says if you walk after your last meal, it's so good for digestion and sleep. So that's the reason I wondered, because that's another tip you're providing to people to do it that way. Okay. So what a terrific morning of family and getting right started on a health-minded way. So number 2, Tonya, what's something other than getting up early and getting everybody off on a smart day, even though, Zion gets to win every race. What is something other than that morning routine that you believe if other people would start it, embrace it, and continue to do it, it would also put them on a trajectory for success?
So once everybody's out of the house, for me, I get outside. I breathe the air. I take off my shoes and I ground myself. Just take off my shoes and I stand and just breathe in the grass, right? And just ground myself and just think through what it is that I need to do. I typically eat a little bit later than everybody else because I try to intermittent fast. So that would be the one thing I would say. Get outside, walk, find that something for yourself that's just 10, 15 minutes, that's just you.
Okay.
Sometimes it's walking with a friend. Sometimes it's just breathing the air and maybe doing a couple of poses. But for me, that really just kind of gets my day going in the right direction. And sometimes as people, right, we're giving so much to others. It's important for us to just carve out that little bit of time for ourselves.
Yes. And you know what? On all of the episodes, we haven't heard ground yourself in the grass with bare feet. So I'm seeing Barb smiling because she's going to want us to do it. Okay. Number three, Tonya, who or what's been the biggest influence in your life, your success personally and professionally, and how you remain focused on bringing that joy you mentioned? And also, not only who, but what have you done with that influence?
So I will call it part two. So 20 years in corporate America, and now I wake up every day and I write children's books and I really volunteer in the community. And when you're giving back to others, it is it's a gift that I really don't even know how to describe. It just fulfills you in a whole new way. So my biggest influence for me has been hanging out with little kids. Little kids are just so pure in their joy. They embrace their feelings, whether they be big or not. And they are just every moment just their authentic self. They don't know how to be anything else. And I think over time as adults, we learn and we shift and we accommodate the world. But when you hang out with little kids, you see that the world accommodates them. And it's been a gift to me because it's allowed me to kind of recenter myself and find pure joy in the moments. And little kids, whether it's looking at bubbles, whether it's running across a field or playing with Play-Doh, they find their purest joy.
Mm. We could have titled this Finding Your Purest Joy with Tonya Baradaran. I mean, that consistent, and I know you, so I'm smiling because I'm just so happy for you that you have chosen this and again, you were so successful in the past. It's not as though this second state is anything other than because you want to. It's really is an inspiration to all of us. All right, last question in the podcast four. So you know our series and the master classes we've held and those we'll held in the future. They're all about living our lives positively. At the same time, something Barb and I noticed way back before we ever started this is there are things that people do that are not so positive that are holding them back. And if they'd stop doing them, it would advance them. What's something you've noticed, Tonya, that you wish people would stop doing to encourage the positivity?
Fear,
Mm,
fear. And I'm guilty of it as much as anybody else. Embracing Zion's autism spectrum disorder diagnosis has changed my life. And at first, I was afraid to admit it. I was afraid to, acknowledge that, he needed help.
hmm
But once I removed that fear of, oh, what are people going to say? What's my family going to say? Is he going to be labeled? And all of the things, and really just leaned into it, it just got him the help that he needed. And now he jumped an entire grade level in 1 year. I mean, he's just taking off
Wow.
and excelling. And it's allowed me also to open up a whole new community of people and support. I get approached, hey, are you Tonya? I saw you on TikTok. And, they're sharing their stories with me and we're having dialogue. And if I had just kept all of this in because of my own fear of what other people would feel or my fear of if I wouldn't be successful, I wouldn't have this blessing in my life with this
hmm
book and with his growth. So I would say whatever you're afraid of, run to it. Run to it. It is an illusion, and there is so much more on the other side.
Wow. Thank you for that vulnerability too. And I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm guessing because we haven't had this specific conversation. Did you change your definition of success too? Because it was tied more to that corporate side, and now you see the success with the joy with the kids and with Zion's success?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I changed my definition of success, but as you know, I mean, I had 20 years of experience across corporate America. I've worked in everything from supply chain management all the way through, vice president of sales and national accounts. And I have all of these skills that I'm now able to invest in myself and in my business, right? So I'm building my own websites. I'm learning. So I'm still this lifelong learner. And I'm taking those tools and all of these skills that I've had over these years, and I'm investing it back into our community and our kids.
Okay.
So I think it's just a shift. I don't think
Mhm.
it's a new definition. I think it's just using your old skill set to create new success.
New application means new success, more success.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you for your ideas, Tonya. I feel joyful already, and a couple of things that I'm going to implement. And Debbie and myself's list might look a little bit different, but I'm going to focus on my family's joy in the morning. And so getting everyone off to a great start and getting back to that daily walk. I was doing that when I was training for a big hike that I was doing, and we really haven't done that since. And maybe on a race in the morning. I think that would definitely be great. And then, of course, Debbie, I have this so ground in the grass. So we've been
Yes.
doing some meditations with some, prior guests. And so I love the theme that I keep seeing. And so those are definitely a couple of things that I am going to work on. And then, continuing to give back to the community. Debbie, how does your list look?
Agreed. I mean, that joy. Now, the morning part, I'm thinking about how that can play out because Michael and I get up, he takes Daisy, I go for a run. So, I mean, I find great joy in it, and I know he does. It's not together, but the walk after, absolutely. We can do that with days. And racing in the morning, I'm laughing only because most everybody I run with runs faster than I do. And when we have sprints, I am like you, Tanya. I am the one coming in after someone else wins, and I'm okay with it. Listen, I look at it as they can inspire me, so I'm going to push myself on that race a little bit and grounding in the grass.
I like
That's
that.
definitely something that will be fun, and we can definitely do that together at times as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I commit to those tweaks, and we will report back next week. That'll be great.
So, Tanya, as we wrap up, we are ready to hear more on your love of golf.
Yeah, so I was an athlete growing up. I played basketball, played softball, and I was getting my scholarship. I must have been 17, 18 years old. So I was at the church, and the church had awarded me a scholarship, and I went to see this older lady, one of the older deaconess in the church, and she must have been in her 80s. And I thought I was going to be there all day, and she was pushing me out the house. And I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, with all due respect, I mean, should I leave?" And she goes, "Tanya, I hate um to bother you, but can you just take this check and go? I got a tea time with my girlfriends." And I
Good
thought
for
to myself,
her.
and I thought to myself, man, if you can be, 80 years old and still enjoying getting out there, getting the fresh air, and connecting with your friends, this is something that I need to take off and learn. And with golf, you're not playing against the person in the cart. You're playing against the course. And I think that is such a great skill for life of how do you continuously improve yourself? How do you continuously adjust? And I think that's something that golf teaches that's often overlooked is this whole idea of being vulnerable and also this whole idea of critiquing and having personal accountability for yourself. So golf has shaped my life and I love to do it.
Well, tea time with girlfriends, Debbie. I think you can relate to that. Maybe we
Yes.
can do a driving range and add that to our follow
Okay.
throughs and things to do. So, finally, Tanya, we would love to be with you all day, and I know we can't, but what is one quick closing statement or a single mantra that we'd love for you to share with our listeners that they didn't get to hear yet?
Yeah. So progress over perfection.
Mhm.
Progress over perfection. I used to tell my old sales teams that we just got to keep moving. And sometimes we can get into analysis paralysis and we just never start. Even with the children's book, I've probably started 6 books and I just never completed them. And then this was the first time that I just said, you know what? Progress over perfection. And I wrote it. And then I rewrote it and I rewrote it until it felt perfect for a child. And it's just something that I live by. And I would encourage everybody else as you continue to conquer your fears and run after your fears, progress over perfection.
All right, progress over perfection. And it looks terrific. It reads beautifully, the book. So for whatever anybody is doing. Now, last thing, Tanya, I mean, you've got so much music in your world. If you had walk-off music, what would that one song be?
I'm going with Rihanna. Please don't
Ah,
stop the music.
all right. So Rihanna makes her way in. We
She makes
got it.
her way in. Please don't stop the music.
Please don't stop the music. Well, we're not going to. That'll put us dancing too with both of your songs. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much and
Thank you.
congratulations again.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Please know, listeners, you can stay connected with Tonya Baradaran through her name on social media. Also, though, Fun Speech Journey. If you Google that, I mean, you can find everything on Linktree, on Linked, on Pinterest, on Threads. So when you want to follow her and get these, now YouTube, she's under her name, LinkedIn under her name, Instagram, though, again, Fun Speech Journeys. TikTok under her name. You know she's got some interesting videos. She mentioned it earlier. Facebook, you can find her both under her name and under Fun Speech Journey LLC. So you can follow Tonya everywhere. Those will be in our show notes. Similarly, you can follow Barb and me on Instagram and Facebook at the Business of Life Masterclass. Barb is, of course, the Stay at Work mom, and I'm Debbie Lundberg, most everywhere, Debbie Lundberg Coach on TikTok.
You liked the insights that you heard today, and I know you did. Please rate us 5 stars, and we are committed to providing you with 5-star guests and inspiration just like Tonya. Please provide us with feedback. We absolutely implement it, and stay tuned for our follow-through show next week on what Debbie and I did to implement Tonya's great ideas and inspiration. Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Business of Life, the podcast for successful people who embrace every chance to accomplish and experience all you can in business and in life.
Listen, choose, do. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have ever thought, gosh, I'd like a collaborator, I wonder what else I could do, it's likely that the answer is a coach. Hi, I'm Debbie Lundberg, Performance and Mindset Coach with Presenting Powerfully. And if you would like confidential coaching to drive you to the next idea, the next role, or even to figure out your own brand, please reach out to us at Presenting Powerfully, 813-494-4438. Thank you.